But according to the sutras, there is a current running through our reality, like literally, like the a river's current, or like a wind, kind of how a sailboat would have to navigate both the current below and the current above to make it to its destination. And according to the sutras, that current is literally happening all the time, and it's called Svatantriya Shakti, and it represents the the unfolding of manifestation from the single point of Shiva, as Shiva becomes all of reality, as Shiva unfolds to become reality. And so when you look around you, even if you're sitting in a room where it doesn't appear that many things are happening, you can maybe still feel a slight breeze, or maybe you can hear something happening in the distance, or you can notice that yes, there is a current, there is something occurring all the time. Reality is unfolding all the time. And of course, as we even turn to our own body, we feel our breath, we feel our heartbeat, we can literally feel a pulse, a current coming right through our own body. And so what this means in terms of like our practice is that when you can get in touch with this current and move through your life, you start to navigate your life skillfully, and you start to use your life for growth. And what this means, as far as the sutras, is karmically, you start to burn up your karma. You start to actually relieve yourself of these repetitive challenges that just happen again and again and again. And so we're just going to look at one little quote from a sutra that can be inspiring, and then we'll use it to meditate. It says, when this pure knowledge of consciousness, so this current, when you actually have knowledge of this current within you, when that is established in continuity, meaning that you're actually like coming back to that over and over and over again, then birth, janma, is gone forever. For him, for the yogi, there is no more birth and there is no more death. What is the cause of birth, janma? And the sutras tell us, action attached with ignorance is the cause of birth. Action done from a place without any connection inside is the cause of our karma. That action, it goes on to say, creates the organs, the body, all the limbs. Therefore, when that action from ignorance ends, then the effect, our karma being created and born, also ceases to exist. So if we want to become free of our karma, and essentially our karma means free of our cyclical patterns of suffering in our many different forms, each of us has a different pattern, many different patterns. If we want to get free of those patterns of suffering, then we need to start acting from a place of awareness. And it sounds easy to say, but it takes a lot of practice to do. And that's exactly what we're doing when we meditate. This is a quote from Paul Reps. Move with, not against, the harmony. So Paul Reps is a dear friend of our teacher, Zen master and poet. And so that's easy to say. It's easy to visualize. But it takes a lot of practice to do. And that's exactly what we're doing when we sit down to practice. We're trying to tune in. Can we find the current of Shiva, the current of the present happening in us right now? And then can we learn to actually breathe with it? Can we actually sort of ride it? And so this picture is, someone's fingertips over the side of their canoe, feeling the ripples in the ocean. In Hawaii, it's said that when the original sort of pioneers of Hawaii from Tahiti were close, but they couldn't quite find the island. The individuals that were on that outrigger canoe put their fingertips in the water, and they could feel there is a different current coming up against the actual current of the ocean, and that indicated that there was an island in the distance that they couldn't see, where the water was hitting off the island and coming back, and they could feel that in their fingertips in the water, and they're like, oh, we're on the right track. We have the capacity to be that sensitive in our daily life. We just have to practice it. So, with that, we'll practice. So hopefully you are settled in and ready. Go ahead and just start. We're going to create a little ripple in our body. You know how we start a lot of these practices. I want you to just move as if you were in a small body of water, maybe up to your shoulders, and imagine it had a little bit of a current in it. And so it was just moving your body gently, slightly unpredictably. And notice that as you move, it would appear that you're sort of moving, it almost looks like if from an onlooker you're off balance, right? You're just like, whoa, but in reality, you are moving around your center right now. You're exploring your center by actually moving around it. Right? It's not always about just being at the center. Sometimes our life is actually helping us find our center by moving us off center and forcing us to find it again. So let your small movements right now be slightly unpredictable, like you're in water, and see how you're holding your center the whole time, even when you're not, quote unquote, at center. And then allow the current, the external current, to subside maybe 50% so that there's still movement, but it's much smaller. And this, just really keep that small current going here so that you're not totally still yet. This exploration of these micro movements, these smaller, subtler movements, is just as important as the larger ones. And it's from here that you can allow yourself to arrive at center and let this take a moment. Let it happen as naturally as if you had to wait for the ripples in the water to subside. And when you do arrive at center, you should feel that buoyancy. The buoyancy that comes from not gripping center, but rather just being centered. The harmony that Paul Reps talks about is your true nature. Balance, buoyancy, centeredness. This is our true nature. This is not something we have to do to ourselves or make happen. It is actually how we are. What we do have to do, though, is we have to practice letting go of the things that pull us off center. And that's what our practice is about. Surrendering that which pulls you away from center. And so, tune into your breath flow. At first, you'll need to smooth out the breath. You'll need to use effort to get in touch with the current. This is like paddling your canoe out from the riverbank into the middle of the current. You're using effort to find something that's effortless, but you gotta paddle to get it started. Smooth, even breaths through the nose, staying buoyant and relaxed in the body. To help keep your effort balanced, you can focus first on your exhale, allowing it to come to completion, Allow that natural pause, no matter how small, to occur after the exhale without any gripping. And then the inhale should pour in naturally and effortlessly. Exhaling, letting it finish, feeling that slight pause, and then inhaling smoothly and easily. I always find at this stage of the practice it can help to do the slight smile, and it's not even perceptible on the face. It's something it's the very slightest inward shift, and it helps me really find the current, the real current inside, not the current of my mind or my effort, but the current of the heart, the current of the breath. And so we start to explore merging our effort with this inner pulsation, this inner current. And so you can imagine like paddling a canoe with a current. As you dip your paddle into the water, try to feel the current that's actually there, so that your effort is quite minimal. Every breath is an opportunity to feel this experience of paddling with the current, with the harmony. To help our mind paddle with the current, you can bring the mantra So Hum to your breath. So is the mantra of the exhale. Hum is the mantra of the inhale. Letting your exhale complete, letting the inhale flow in. The current that we are entering is full of being, consciousness, and bliss. A slight smile can help you find this current, and then your breath and your mantra help you stay in the current. And when you're able to stay in the current for multiple breaths, you start to change. It takes time. It's of course natural that we would find ourselves on the shore of a thought, and when that occurs, you just redirect your focus back to the middle of the river that you seek, to your breath, and you use a little bit of effort to paddle back in, smoothing out the breath, repeating your mantra clearly. And as you start to feel that you're paddling with the current, you start to feel it, and you just try to use a little less effort with each paddle, with each breath. couple minutes, experiment with another layer of surrender. Imagine releasing all effort and merging with the experience of the breath itself, letting go of all resistance, all thoughts, and really merging. You can allow the eyes to open just a little bit. Allow reality to flow back in. And see if you can stay in touch with this current of the breath and the heart. Actions performed with awareness are our greatest asset in spiritual growth. And awareness simply means being in touch with this inner current of reality. And actions simply mean the way you're interacting with that reality. So namaste.